You are absolutely going to love this homemade ice cream recipe made with sweetened condensed milk.
Made ice cream in the summertime. What is more perfect? And if you love sweetened condensed milk, you are going to love this recipe. Now, I first got this recipe back in the 70s when it was the winner of the Texas State Fair Homemade Ice Cream Recipe Contest. Okay, now the first thing we're going to need to do is start making our custard. So, here I've got a cup of sugar and flour. I'm going to mix these together. And then we need about a half a teaspoon of salt. Have my heat on about medium-high. And I'm going to start pouring my milk in. Now I just want to pour in enough to make a paste. Because if you pour your milk in anything like with flour, if you don't gradually do it, make it into a paste, and then add the rest of your milk, you're going to have lumps. Add the rest of my milk. Then I'm going to add a can of evaporated milk. And now I'm just going to stir this till it kind of is cooking a little bit. I can tell it's starting to thicken, it's thoroughly heated, and then I'm going to add my beaten eggs. I have been stirring this constantly with a spatula. Not stirring it vigorously, just kind of keeping things where it doesn't stick. Now I can feel that it's kind of starting to thicken up a little on the bottom, so now's the time to add my eggs. But I'm not just going to throw them in there, I'm going to temper them. So I'm going to put just a little bit in there and stir. Add a little bit more and stir. Add just a little bit more and stir. A little bit more. Okay. Now those should be tempered. And now I'm going to pour them into my milk and sugar. I'm just going to keep this going. Now I want to cook this till it starts to simmer, and I want to maybe cook it for about 3 to 5 minutes. Really under low heat. I'm sure a fancy chef would tell you to put it over a double boiler, but I'm just kind of watching it, keeping it stirred. I can see that it's thickening up and that it's completely cooked. So now I'm going to take it off the heat. And I am going to pour in my sweetened condensed milk. Okay, I'm going to use a wire whisk to really get this mixed in good. I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of real vanilla. Using real vanilla, that's pretty pricey. But if you're really going through this much trouble to make homemade ice cream, you want it to be the best. Okay, now next you need a bowl that's going to hold at least 2 quarts, even 4 quarts would be better. Because this is going to go into the refrigerator until it completely cools, which may be 3 or 4 hours, or you can even keep it in the refrigerator overnight and make your ice cream the next day. Okay, now I've let my custard that I cooked set overnight. You know, for you it could be 3 or 4 hours. To me it's just easier to go ahead, make it the day before and put it in the refrigerator. Now to this I need to add 6 more cups of milk. So I'm just going to get that whisked in. I want it stirred up really good. Okay, now this is just a little ice cream maker I bought from Walmart Rival. It makes a gallon. Now in the past, all the ice cream makers I had actually did 6 quarts, but this does 4 quarts. So I'm going to, now I lost my little thing there. Just pour my custard in. Insert my paddle and my lid. Now I've placed the ice bucket here inside of another bucket. I know back in the old days, you know, you sat on the porch and cranked your ice cream. But, you know, when you get older, you want to make everything easier. So I'm up on a table, I'm indoors. Okay, put that. I need to make sure it's seated good. Of course, the hard part is getting your lid on straight. With my rock salt handy, I'm using a 1/4 cup measuring. I've got my ice here, and I have a cup to dip it with. Okay, now what I need to do is turn the machine on, and as it's running, I'm going to put a cup of ice on each side, and then add a 1/4 cup of salt to each side, and keep layering it till it gets all the way to the top.
Keep adding ice and salt. As the ice melts, the water will come out of the hole at the top of the bucket. Keep adding ice and salt to the bucket. When the decal turns blue or the ice bucket starts frosting, it should take about 20 to 40 minutes until the motor slowly slows down and then it completely stops.
Okay, my ice cream maker just slowly started slowing down and completely stopped, and then I unplugged it. Now I just need to kind of take it off. Really careful about getting all the ice and salt off the top of this, because I sure do not want salty ice cream. Okay, I've kind of made sure I wiped all the salt out. I'm going to take it out. Now the old-fashioned way would have been to drain the water out, repack it with ice and all that, but I'm going to put mine in the freezer. I'm going to remove the paddle. Scrape the ice cream off. Now I know that looks good. You probably got the kids standing by waiting for their first bite. But if you eat it at this stage, it's going to melt faster than you can eat it. So you have to harden the ice cream. So I'm going to pour this back into the container that I originally put the custard in. Okay, now I'm going to put this in the freezer and let it harden up. Well, if you really can't wait for your ice cream, it's still a little bit soft after about 6 hours. And this would be just perfect if you let it sit overnight in the freezer. But whatever you do, oh, it just tastes great.
Thank you so much for joining me today at Homemade Cooking in Texas. These are my favorite recipes, and I hope they will become yours. Now, if you enjoy these recipes, please like and subscribe so you can see more of these type recipes. We have been making a full-time living here on our organic farm since 1991. We need your support to continue our small family farm by liking and subscribing to our channel. Thank you so much.